Hi guys, it is April from Getting Hookah With It. Today I'm ready to pick my next book. I'm really enjoying doing these kinds of videos where I read a couple of pages from a few books and pick my next read. So let's get into it. Just finished reading Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney, and I gave it 5 stars. I don't know if it's because it's the first book that I really picked up since the baby was born, but I loved that book. Like, I was really into it. I was so into it. It was so much fun. Anyway, let me know in the comments below if you've read it and what you thought of it. It was a domestic thriller and I liked it. What? Who am I? I don't know. But now I need to pick another book. I should be quiet because the baby is right there and she's snoozing and I don't want to screw up a good thing. So I've got 4 books that I want to consider. I'm going to kind of show them all to you, and then I'll start reading from each. So first is The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I could be saying the name wrong. And then, of course, The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. So I'm going to go one by one, read a couple of pages. First up is The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. This is a horror book. It's a ghost story. I have read this before, and this would be a reread if I'm going to pick it up. This is about a solicitor who goes to this very large house. It's called Eel Marsh House. A woman has died who owned the house, and he has to kind of go and take care of her affairs. And once he gets there, he has to stay overnight because of the weather. I think there's a fog or a storm or something, and he's forced to stay the night. And there's a ghost. I remember loving it the first time I read it, so we'll see if I want to read this all over again right now. Ooh, it takes place on Christmas Eve. Did you know that? I didn't know that. So it's interesting. I have put this book on my summer TBR so many times, and now I'm realizing this should be on a winter TBR, not a summer TBR. And because it takes place on Christmas Eve, I don't know if I really want to read this right now, which is surprising because out of all of these books, I think this was the one I thought I was going to want to read. But now I'm thinking maybe not. Next up as a contender is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I just recently read Ruth Ware's recent book, The Turn of the Key, which I loved. She's a hit or miss author for me. I read In a Dark, Dark Wood by her and hated that book. So we'll see about this one. But this is about a woman who is not doing well in her life financially at all. And she receives a letter that suggests that someone is giving her a home. And she knows that they've got the wrong person, 100% wrong person, but she's like, I'm doing badly in life. I could use a little bit of help. And so she goes to stay there and soon regrets it. So let's see if this is going to be the one for me. So far it's really intriguing me, so this is a real contender. Okay, let's try The Silent Patient next. This one, I feel like everyone has read but me, and everyone has loved it. I think so far in the comments, only 2 people have said it didn't do it for them. Everyone else has loved it. This is about a woman who seemingly has a really great marriage, but she goes home one day and she shoots her husband 5 times in the face, and then she doesn't speak again. She's sent to like some sort of mental ward or something, and a criminal psychotherapist hears about her story and wants to know what happened really and lure that information out of her. So let's see. This is super intriguing too. Oh no. Oh no, I was hoping that like one of them would call out to me more than the other. Oh no. Okay, we'll see what happens, but it's definitely intriguing. I want to know why in the world she killed her husband already. Oh. Okay, and finally, The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. This is the sequel to The Handmaid's Tale, like the long-awaited sequel. 30 years? Something like that. This does not follow Offred. This is 15 years after we last see Offred. And we are still in Gilead, a dystopian world where women have literally no rights at all, and some women are used exclusively for their bodies to produce children in a time where children are very hard to conceive. And we meet, I think, three protagonists and three narrators, I should say, that are not Offred. I am almost nervous to start opening this up and reading it. I am a little. Wish me luck. Holy crap. Okay, I just flipped the page. It was like The Testaments, and then also by Margaret Atwood. Look how much this woman has written. So impressive. I need to read more of her. And just reading the little quotes at the beginning that are often in books, and one of them says, "When we look one another in the face, we're neither of us just looking at a face we hate. No, we're gazing into a mirror. Do you really not recognize yourselves in us?" Oh man, I thought this was going to be a political book, like why she wrote this in the first place. A lot of people, well, some people think it might just be like her trying to cash in with all the rage that is The Handmaid's Tale right now. I think it's a political statement. Oh, I'm so scared. Okay. It's good. The first little section is written from the perspective of an aunt, which is fascinating. I don't know, though, if I want to read this right now. So I think I'm going to wait on this until I really, really feel like it, which I know no one else is doing. Everyone is reading that like pronto or has already read it, it feels like. So now I need to choose between these two. The Death of Mrs. Westaway or The Silent Patient. You know what? I think I'm going to read The Death of Mrs. Westaway. I just kind of feel like it. It's got a gothic vibe, which is a new thing, I think, for Ruth Ware, and I think she's doing really well with that. And then, I don't know, I'm really on a thriller kick, but so I would not be surprised if, like, this pops up next. But yeah, I'm going to go with The Death of Mrs. Westaway. Let me know in the comments below if you've read it. Don't give me any spoilers. No spoilers, please. And I will talk with you soon. Bye. Look who's just waking up, just as I finished filming. Hi, honey. Do you want a bubba?